So a question I field frequently from entrepreneurs typically involves productivity, right? And this is for the entrepreneur that has already, figured out how to demonstrate and communicate the value prop. They're taking on clients. So they're no longer what I would call like fledgling, right? They're not green peas anymore, right? You've reached a point in your business where you realize you need to maximize your time. You need to sharpen the saw. There are areas where you need to become more efficient. And I typically don't offer general recommendations unless I've had an opportunity to fully interview someone. But, three things that are always top of mind when I hear this question is, number one, as a new entrepreneur, this is something that individuals oftentimes neglect, even those of us who are established, and that's just understanding your KPIs, right? Your key performance indicators, your RGAs, or revenue generating activities, a lot of different acronyms and synonyms and anecdotes. But the bottom line is knowing what are the activities that are required for you to have success and identifying them. Generally speaking, there are three that I focus on more than anything else. Number one, how many times am I making new friends? Or how many times am I making an invitation to someone to learn what it is that I'm doing? Or how many times am I just engaging someone, right? That could potentially be a client or prospect, right? The bottom line is that whole adage that if you build it, they'll come is a lie, okay? You have to be out there, especially in the beginning, letting people know who you are, what you do, and what your value prop is. So one of those KPIs is identifying, number one, how many times are you inviting people to learn about your business? How many times is some type of media, whether it be audio, video, et cetera, how many times is it actually touching individuals so folks can get a better idea of who you are, what your value prop is, and decide whether they like, know, and trust you, right? So that's number one. The other thing that I encourage new entrepreneurs to really engage in is tracking how many times are people seeing a full-on presentation. Or another way of thinking about it, how many times is a potential prospect learning enough information to make an educated decision? So it's not a situation where they know enough to say no, but not enough to make an educated yes. So how many times are they seeing a full presentation? How many times are they actually sitting down? And of course, it's incumbent upon you as an entrepreneur to make sure these opportunities present themselves, right? With people, whether they're comfortable looking at your information over a cell phone, over an iPad, over a laptop, listen to audio, belly to belly via Zoom. But how many times is that happening per day where individuals actually being exposed to enough of your information to make an educated decision, right? I call that making the presentation. Another thing that you want to take into account is how many times are you acquiring referrals? Look, in my humble opinion, this is the most important KPI of it all. If you're a restaurant owner, you want the repeat business. If you're a product, you want people to buy your products again. If you are a service provider, you want individuals who are not only utilizing your service with regularity, but you want them to invite their family, friends, and loved ones to learn about you. So understanding those KPIs, understanding how many times you're getting those referrals. So referrals is a function of it all. The bottom line is if you're not inviting people, if you're not approaching people correctly, if folks don't like, know, and trust you, if the manner in which you conduct yourself doesn't leave people with a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling about you, if you're out here selling people as opposed to sorting, if you're out here not educating people but spending time trying to convince people and beat them in the head with whatever it is that you're offering, you're not going to get referrals. So, these are the things that I would encourage entrepreneurs to think deeply about and reflect on when you're thinking about sharpening the saw, right? What is your process in getting from a new person learning about you to them acquiring referrals, right? When you've been in business long enough, at some point you realize how many exposures you need or how many times you need to invite people to learn about your business before you start to see results. Personally, just full disclosure, for me, it's about 20 times a day. I know I need to engage about 20 new people a day. Not to pitch them anything, but just to engage. Say, hey, what's up? What you doing? What do you do for a living? This is what I do for a living. Or, hey, talk to me. What's a problem that you have? What's a challenge you need solving? Maybe I can help you out with that, right? So that's recommendation number one. Should I break this up into 3 segments? I probably should have, but I don't have time to do it right now. Anyway, actually, I shouldn't have said that. In any respect. So segment 2. How much time are you dedicating towards curating, fine-tuning the skills that pay the bills? That's number 2 recommendation. To ask yourself, how much time are you spending time perfecting what it is that you do, right? Whether your craft be public speaking, whether your craft is leadership a skill trait, whether it's writing, whether you're a graphic designer, whether you're an accountant, whatever your skill is, how much time are you dedicating towards improving that skill, right? We know as entrepreneurs, I think we know it's like a gut feeling that we understand this, but most of us still don't dedicate the time to it, right? And you have to do that, right? We know musicians spend time perfecting their skills. We know athletes spend time perfecting their skills. You as an entrepreneur, you need to find time perfecting skills. Maybe it's a skill that you want to learn. Maybe you want to get particularly more informed at a particular topic, or maybe you want to be able to have more, I don't know, endurance when it comes to certain issues as it relates to leadership, relationship building, patience, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You should be dedicating some time on a daily and weekly basis, because it's not going to happen. Learning isn't going to happen by osmosis. I mean, sometimes you really just have to dedicate the time to learn what you need to learn and process what you need to process and do a deeper dive and gain a better, deeper understanding. At the end of the day, it's just like anything else, right? I use athletics as the easiest metaphor that I can think of. But look, when you look at those athletes that are elite, I mean, they're the elite of the elite versus those who are just very, very, very good. Oftentimes, there are not big physical differences. There's not huge differences in terms of intellect. There's not huge differences in terms of a lot of different things. It's just the elite of the elite are willing to do some simple things. They're willing to spend just a little bit more time in the gym. They're willing to spend just a little bit more time watching the tape. They're willing to spend just a little bit more time studying their opponents. They're spend a little bit of time perfecting a particular strategy or tactic or a way of going about doing things. It's that little bit of separation that makes a difference. So, how much time are you spending? Are you setting aside time to get that little bit, right? The difference between extraordinary. How much time are you spending to get just a little bit better? To have that little bit more extra in whatever it is that you do. So that's number 2. All right, number 3 recommendation, diet. Now, I know this is going to be controversial. I know, because we don't like to talk about these things. But I am so sincere when I say this. Diet, right? You know, the most strenuous thing that we can do as entrepreneurs and as people in general, the basic expenditure of energy, the thing that we must do every single day that steadily kills us every single day is the food that we eat. The stuff that we're putting in our bodies takes years off our life, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. And the bottom line is diet matters. You know, I'm transparent. When my eyes open, I'm on. The moment my eyes open, I'm on. I'm on until my eyes close. And when you are expending that type of energy as an entrepreneur, diet matters, man. Take time to study what sugar does to your body. Take time to study what too much in the way of carbohydrates, alcohol, things like this do to your body. Take time to understand the benefits of intermittent fasting. Take time to understand that, you know, how things that you consume impact you psychologically, impact your energy level. And just think about it simply as this, man. Once again, the most damaging thing that we do every single day that we have to do is eat. To what extent are the things that you're putting in your body, number one, causing your body to work harder than it should? And to what extent are you putting things in your body that actually benefits your body, right? And if you start thinking about those things critically and you understand that process, you understand why diet is so absolutely important. We don't talk about health and wellness enough in the entrepreneur community, so I had to go there. But this is one of the tips that I encourage entrepreneurs to consider, and this is a tip that I've been dispensing with some regularity. You know, other thing too, look, when you're talking about diet, I'm not talking about dieting for the purpose of keeping up with the Joneses on Instagram and Facebook and all these other places. Look, if you're comparing your body and your appearance to celebrities, remember this. They're being paid to look like that. It is what it is, right? They're being paid to be pretty. And they're being compensated very well, which is why they have the time to spend the money, to spend the energy, to spend the resources to look the way they look and portray themselves the way to portray them. Understand, it's a portrayal. They're actors, right? They're performers. They're performing for us. And we like our performers to look pretty. So it's unrealistic. Don't be looking in the mirror and then looking at these images on Facebook and Instagram and everyone else, comparing yourself. So you don't have a 20-pack. Look, you're not being paid to have a 20-pack either. You're okay with a 6-pack. You're okay with a 4-pack. Can you walk 2 or 3 miles? You're good. Can you run 2 or 3 miles? Trust me, you're good, right? This is about being healthy. This is about having energy. This is about having what you need inside of you to go out and execute and do the things you need to do. This is not about going out there and trying to be the prettiest, most talented, most popular darling on social media because of your appearance, okay? So I don't want people to get it twisted either, right? Remember, these people are getting paid to be beautiful. That's what they're in the business of, entertainment and beauty. If you are an entrepreneur and you're not in the business of doing those things, don't damage yourself by comparing yourself like that, right? You know, diet, focus on diet. Maybe I'll do a posting to get more specific and do a deeper dive at some other time. I'm still working my stuff out, so I'm not going to be hypocritical. I like to teach what I know. You can't lead people where you won't go, and you can't help people where you haven't grown, right? So I need to get better at that too before I start talking more specifically about it, but know that it's a big piece of it. So those are the 3 things. Know your KPIs, man. Take time to level up and get good at your craft. Dedicate time to it, just like you dedicate time to washing your face, brushing your teeth, and washing your behind. Take the time to spruce up in terms of your skill sets. And then diet, right? We got 4 canines, the rest are molars for a reason. Think about that for a moment.